Life constantly challenges us in ways we never expect. Every day presents a new obstacle, a new trial, and a new reason to stop. It feels as if the world is testing how much we can take. But what if the real test isn't the challenge itself, but how we respond to it? The truth is that our limits are not real, they are constructed by our fears, doubts, and insecurities. The moment you realize that your limits are only mental barriers, you begin to see the truth: you are far stronger and more capable than you give yourself credit for. Pushing past your limits starts with the simple belief that you can go further, and that belief is more powerful than any obstacle life throws at you. Every great achievement, every success story, and every incredible feat you admire was once considered impossible. These people didn't achieve greatness by accepting their limits, they achieved it by defying them. Think of the times when you've succeeded despite believing it was impossible. When you push yourself, you begin to tap into the potential you never knew existed. Those victories, no matter how small, are proof that you can push through any limitation you face. The journey is never easy, but when you push through the discomfort and uncertainty, you reach a place where only growth exists. Every challenge is an opportunity to stretch beyond what you thought you could do. The hardest battles we face are often within ourselves. It's not the physical limits of our bodies that hold us back, but the mental ones. When we start to feel tired or doubt ourselves, we mentally tell ourselves, "I can't do this anymore." But what if those feelings of exhaustion, discomfort, and doubt are exactly where the magic happens? What if every time we face them, we are on the verge of breaking through our limits? It is in the struggle where growth occurs. If you decide that you won't let fear or discomfort control your actions, you will realize that you have the strength to push through anything. The secret to overcoming your limits is to lean into discomfort, not run from it. It's important to recognize that limits are subjective. What seems impossible today may become a regular part of your routine tomorrow. This shift doesn't happen by staying where you are, by maintaining the status quo, or by avoiding discomfort. It happens when you step into the unknown, when you try things you've never done, when you challenge the voice inside that tells you to stop. Remember, every successful person has faced what seemed like insurmountable obstacles. What separated them from others was their refusal to quit. The greatest achievements come from doing what others thought was impossible, and every time you break through a limit, you elevate your ability to tackle the next challenge that comes your way. Understand that pushing past your limits isn't about achieving perfection, it's about pushing yourself to your maximum potential. Perfection isn't required for progress, but persistence is. There are going to be times when you stumble, fall, or get discouraged. The difference between those who succeed and those who don't is simple: the winners don't quit. They keep going even when they feel defeated. They get back up after every fall, and they refuse to accept the idea that they can't go any further. Every time you get back up, you're building resilience, strength, and character. Every challenge faced is a lesson learned, and every failure is just another step toward ultimate success. The process of pushing past limits can be grueling and uncomfortable, and it can seem as though it's taking forever. But let me remind you that progress doesn't always look like progress in the moment. It's easy to look at someone who's achieved something incredible and think, they made it look so easy, but behind every success story is a series of struggles, failures, and setbacks. The true measure of success isn't how easy the journey was, but how much you grew along the way. Every drop of sweat, every moment of doubt, every ounce of effort you put in matters. So when it feels like nothing is happening, remember that the growth is often happening beneath the surface, and the breakthrough is just around the corner. Everyone's path to success is different, but we all have one thing in common: the ability to push past limits. We all have the ability to rise above whatever circumstances or challenges we face. The difference lies in the choices we make when faced with adversity. Do we choose to shrink back, to give in to our fears and doubts, or do we choose to rise up, to keep moving forward no matter how hard it gets? The decision is ours, and the power is within us all. You are stronger than you think, and you have everything inside of you to achieve greatness. The only thing standing in your way is your own belief in what's possible. Start believing in your ability to push past your limits, and you'll be amazed at how much you can accomplish. We've all heard the phrase, "the only limits that exist are the ones you set for yourself." It's easy to dismiss it as a motivational catchphrase, but the reality is much deeper. Every time you decide not to push past your limits, you're choosing to stay in the comfort zone. You're choosing to play small. But when you push past those limits, you step into a world where anything is possible. You stop measuring your progress by how easy it is, and instead you measure it by the courage to keep going. The more you push, the more you will realize that there is no finish line, only endless possibilities. The greatest limitation you can have is believing that your potential is capped. But once you push past that limit, you'll realize that the sky's the limit. The reality of pushing past limits is that you will face resistance. Resistance from the world, from others, and most notably from within. There will be days when you feel defeated, when your body and mind scream at you to stop. But those moments are the ones that count the most. They are the defining moments where your true strength is tested. Those who push through these tough times are the ones who achieve greatness. So when you feel resistance, don't see it as a sign to quit. See it as a sign that you're on the verge of something great. The harder the struggle, the greater the victory on the other side. You don't grow by remaining in the same place. You don't develop resilience, strength, or character by avoiding challenges. You grow by facing challenges head-on and overcoming them. Each time you push past a limit, you unlock new potential within yourself. The path to growth is never easy, but it is always worth it. The person you are today is only the beginning. Every obstacle you overcome makes you stronger, more capable, and more prepared for the next challenge. The beauty of pushing past your limits is that you'll never reach the end of your growth. There's always a higher level to reach, a new limit to break, and a new version of yourself to discover. As you move forward, remember that pushing past limits is not a destination, it's a continuous process. You're constantly evolving, growing, and expanding your capabilities. What seems impossible now will eventually become something you do every day. The things that once scared you will become second nature. It's not about arriving at some perfect version of yourself, but about continually challenging the version of yourself that exists today. With every step you take, you move closer to the person you were always meant to be. The only thing standing between you and that person is your willingness to push past your limits. So what are you waiting for? Take that first step. The road to success isn't paved with comfort. It's filled with obstacles that are meant to test your resolve. But the beauty of pushing past limits is that every single obstacle you encounter is an opportunity to prove to yourself how capable you are. Think of each setback not as a failure, but as an opportunity to grow stronger. When you hit a wall, don't turn back. Find a way to break through it, climb over it, or go around it. The way forward is always open, but it requires you to keep going. In those moments when you want to quit, remember that every great achievement was built on the foundation of overcoming adversity. As you push past your limits, you may find that you have to leave certain things behind. Old habits, old beliefs, and even some people may no longer align with the person you are becoming. Letting go isn't always easy, but it's necessary for growth. It's part of the process of pushing beyond what's comfortable and embracing the new, the unknown, and the challenging. You'll have to make hard choices, to say no to things that no longer serve your journey. But the more you release, the more space you make for the person you are becoming. Embrace the change because it's leading you toward your true potential. One of the hardest truths to accept is that you can't change the past. No matter how many times you wish things had turned out differently, the reality is that the past is behind you. The only thing you can control is how you move forward from this point. And moving forward means pushing past the limits of your past experiences. Don't let past failures or regrets define your future. Every day is a new opportunity to start fresh, to grow, and to push past the boundaries that once held you back. The past may have shaped you, but it doesn't have to limit you. Your future is in your hands, and the possibilities are endless. Pushing past limits isn't just about physical strength or mental endurance, it's about having the right mindset. The thoughts you allow to occupy your mind are the ones that shape your reality. If you believe that you can't go any further, you won't. But if you change that thought and tell yourself that you are capable, that you are strong, and that you have what it takes, you will start to see a shift. Your mind is your greatest ally in this journey. So when doubts arise, challenge them. Replace the negative with the positive. Cultivate a mindset of growth, resilience, and strength, and watch how your actions begin to reflect that mindset. Don't underestimate the power of consistency. Pushing past limits is a gradual process, not something that happens overnight. It's the small, consistent actions you take every day that accumulate into massive results. You don't need to make drastic changes all at once, you just need to keep going. Even when progress seems slow, even when it feels like you're not getting anywhere, remember that consistency is what makes the biggest difference in the long run. Each day you push a little harder. Each day you give a little more. You are creating momentum. Over time, that momentum will carry you farther than you could have imagined. There will be people who try to tell you that you can't push past your limits. They'll say that you're being unrealistic, that you're setting yourself up for failure. But those voices, both external and internal, are not the voices you should listen to. Instead, listen to the voice that tells you to keep going, to rise up, and to prove them wrong. The people who doubt you are often the same ones who haven't dared to push past their own limits. Your journey is yours alone, and no one else can define your potential but you. Don't let the opinions of others become the limits you impose on yourself.